Let's talk about Facebook leads, specifically final expense Facebook leads. Okay. They work. They've been working for a very long time. We use them, and many agents help multiple families every day on them. And agents can build very profitable businesses on Facebook leads. But this video is to give you kind of a reality check here because I don't want many thinking about using Facebook leads to look at them with these rose colored glasses. You see all these agents put up these big numbers, right? And think, okay, this is my ticket, right? There's some drawbacks to using Facebook leads that you need to be aware of. And I'm going to make you aware of those drawbacks so that you know how to approach Facebook leads the right way. Okay. This isn't a video to discourage you from using Facebook leads at all. Again, a lot of agents use them, they're fine. It's just a reality check of the drawbacks and what you need to do to overcome some of those drawbacks. All right. So let's take it off here. So the first thing you need to understand here is the algorithm and the competition is associated with the algorithm. Okay. So here's how the Facebook algorithm works. If someone fills out your form where you get the lead, Facebook is going to show them other final expense ads after they fill out your form. That's just how the algorithm works. It says, okay, they interacted with this ad. That means they're interested in final expense. So they're going to show a lot of other final expense ads after your ad was shown and they filled out the form. Okay. And that means they're likely to fill out multiple forms and multiple agents will get them. So by the time you call them, they may have already completed forms from other agents and might already be getting just hammered with calls. Okay. So the takeaway here, knowing that's how the algorithm works with Facebook. And first of all, you have to know that. If you're working Facebook leads, you need to understand that. Okay. So the takeaway here is that speed to lead is important. Okay. But you may be the third or fourth person, form that they filled out. And others may not have spoken with them. You may be the first one to get to them. So keep that in mind. Okay. Speed to lead is important. And also, if you make a sale, and this is really important, the tie down is incredibly critical. Okay. You have to lock down every single sale that you make. What I mean by lock down is you are their agent for life. They are not going anywhere else. If they have any questions, they see anything else, they're interested in another final expense plan, they call you. Okay. And you need to tell them that. All right. They need to know that you got them the best plan possible and that they don't even consider other ads, right? They need to understand that there's all these other plans. You offer all of them and you got them in the best plan possible. So they don't even fill out other ads because they are going to be shown them. And you need to understand that's the nature of Facebook leads is they will be shown other ads even after you make a sale. Facebook doesn't know you made a sale. And even if they did, they probably don't even care, right? So button up the relationship because they will see other ads. Okay, so first one is algorithm. Okay, the second drawback is saturation. We've all heard about saturation, right? There's only so many seniors on Facebook. And with hundreds of agents, I mean, possibly thousands of agents, all taking 10 to 25 leads a day, you're playing in a crowded pool. Okay? So this isn't to scare you off, really. It's just a reality. You have to work harder to stand out from the noise, from everything else out there, from all the other calls, all the other people that they've spoken with. Don't be every agent that calls them. Find common ground and relate to them. Understand that every lead that picks up the phone is an opportunity that you need to seize. Out of all the ads that were shown on their feed, yours is the one they inquired with. And then you actually got them on the phone. Okay. That's a lot of things aligning to get to that one conversation where we need to expect a smokescreen. They don't know you. They don't trust you yet. So you have to make every call count and seize every call. Don't let them put this on the back burner any longer. You have to have that mindset going in there because it is saturated. They are talking to other people, likely talking to other people, and you need to stand out. You need to get them to take action. Okay. So we have the algorithm, we have saturation. The third drawback is contact rates are getting tougher. Okay. Outbound dialing is getting harder just across the board, not just in our demographic here. With Facebook leads, if you're not fast and persistent, your contact rate will drop. That means you're not having as many conversations, you're not making as many presentations. And if you don't keep on top of your caller ID reputation, so you're not getting flagged as spam, you could just be dead in the water because it's rare that somebody answers a call that says spam likely on it. Okay, and it's going to get tougher. Okay, we've experienced a lot of stuff the past few years where contact rates seem to drop, but you can overcome them if you have the right information, if you're doing the best practices, right? And like it's going to get tougher. So in August, for example, next month, the iOS 26 update to iPhones goes live. And if you're not in the contact list in their iPhone, if the lead you're fill out a form and it's to their iPhone, the phone number is their cell phone and it's an iPhone, there's going to be a screener, an AI screener where you'll have to state who you are and what the call is about. Okay. And then the lead will determine, they're going to get a text message and the lead will determine if they want to talk to you or not. Do you think people are going to take your calls? Right. If with think about all the smoke screens you get when you're working Facebook leads. People are going to screen you out, even though they fill out a form and there's interest. Life insurance is just something people put on the back burner. They need to be interrupting their day with your phone call where you get them on the phone. But if they have the opportunity to say, no, I don't need to talk to that person right now, they're likely going to do that. So we need to be aware of that. And there's going to be some ways to get around that. We don't know all the details yet. People are saying it's not automatic. They have to turn that on, and most people won't. But I haven't seen any sort of confirmation from Apple or anything from that. So anyway, it's going to get harder. That's just one of the things. Okay. So the key takeaway here with contact rates getting tougher is you need a strong follow-up system, calls, texts, emails, because these leads get cold fast. And you need to monitor and have a system to remediate your phone numbers as well to make sure your phone calls are actually getting through. Okay. So guys, it's it's getting tougher to get in contact with people, but there's always ways to overcome them. All right. You just need to be on top of all that if you're working Facebook leads and understand that. Okay. The next thing here is quality and intent vary. I hope you guys don't hear that construction that I hear right now next door to me. Hopefully you don't, but I hear it. It's kind of distracting. Anyway, hopefully we can get through this without too much noise. Like quality and intent vary. Many people that fill out forms on Facebook are doing it impulsively or out of curiosity, not because they are actively shopping for insurance. You have to understand that. These are not people actively shopping for insurance. This is interruption marketing here. They were looking at their family and friends' pictures and whatever they do on social media on Facebook. And then they saw an ad. It looked interesting. It was an impulse thing. It was out of curiosity. Yes, there's intent and there's a need there. That's great. But they're not actively going and out looking for insurance. Okay. So the takeaway here is you need to be skilled at building urgency and interest from the scratch, right? From the very get-go. Don't think because they filled out a form that they're all hot leads. Okay. You have to be able to get them to take action. And you have to understand that intent is not as great as you think it is with Facebook leads. They are not actively shopping for insurance. You have to build that urgency in your phone calls. It's not just order taking or anything like that. Okay. So quality and intent vary. Of course, you're going to have the slam dunks, the laydowns that are going to buy from you and that are hot, right? But for the most part, you're going to have to build that urgency and interest. Build up that need, build up that emotion. Okay. All right. Then you have lead fatigue. Okay. Facebook leads and lead fatigue is a real thing. Seniors may have been contacted dozens of times by other agents using the same approach. Same thing you're doing. Dialer system, all that stuff. They may have filled out a form and they're being called on. It may not even be for final expense. They may have filled out a form for something else and they're being called on, right? So a lot of agents experience, frustration because their prospects, their leads are frustrated because they're getting so many calls and they get hung up on, they get cussed out, and just lower conversions. And all you have to do here is focus on how you're engaging with them. Okay. Because they're having so many calls and everything, you have to be empathetic to that. All right. So the takeaway here is you need to differentiate yourself and you need to do that with your tone from the very beginning. You're not a telemarketer. You are a real authentic person that is engaging with them, right? Like I said, be empathetic with that. And you need to be able to just build trust quickly. And the one thing you could do at the very beginning of the call is your energy, your tone, your pacing. All that stuff is incredibly important because they've been contacted so many times. They get so many calls every day because remember, they've likely filled out a few forms and there's a bunch of agents trying to call them. All right. So you have to be aware of the lead fatigue that happens with Facebook ads and understand that, and don't take it personal. If somebody's hanging up on you, cussing you out, like you're the 10th person who's called me today, that's not you. That's not your fault. That's just their experience. That's lead fatigue. That just goes with working Facebook ads. And don't take that personally. Okay. Lead fatigue is a real thing here when you're working Facebook leads. Okay. And then the last thing here is speed to lead and consistent follow-up is critical here. Okay. It's absolutely critical. I guess that's not a I guess the drawback here is you need to be on top of your leads at all times. It's not something where you can just let leads pile up during the day and then call them tomorrow. Okay. Facebook leads don't sit well. They get cold fast. Leads need immediately, leads need immediate and persistent follow-up. Okay. Without a strong CRM with automation and a consistent call, text, and email cadence, you're going to lose ground to other agents. You're going to not get in contact with a lot of the leads that you are generating that you're paying good money for. Okay. Paying $8 to $12 a lead and not in, and letting them sit is not going to work. You have to be in front of your desk while you're taking leads. And when a lead comes in, that is your top priority. Speed to lead is incredibly important. Okay. And of course, consistent follow-up as well. So yes, guys, to wrap this all up, Facebook leads absolutely work, but go in with clear expectations here. The agents who can't make Facebook leads work or who complain about them are typically transaction closers, right? They don't tie down, like they make a sale and it's just, okay, you'll get your policy in the mail in 5 to 7 business days. And if you have any questions, give me a call back. No, it doesn't stop there. You have to go into, into buttoning up that sale. You have to build the need, build up the emotion so that they can get attached to this policy and really feel why they need it. And it's not just an impulse buy decision that they can later on just cancel because they don't have you pressuring them to do it, right? So those transaction sales agents don't do well with Facebook leads. And that's the problem. That's why when you hear out there that, hey, I got a final expense because the chargebacks were too much and they're working Facebook leads. Well, that's not the case for all agents. That's just the case if they didn't sell correctly. Okay. So I want you guys to understand that Facebook leads, it's critical to go through your entire presentation, to do everything. Don't cut any corners or else it won't work. You may make a bunch of sales, but they may fall off afterwards because you didn't tie it down because they're being shown those ads over and over and over again. They may have connected with somebody else, that's more recent and, just as nice as you are and just as knowledgeable as you are. And they're more recent. And so, it's so easy to say, okay, I'll cancel the policy with you that I took out a few weeks ago, even though you were nice and interesting and knowledgeable and all that. But it's the recency of it all. You have to tie these leads down once you make a sale and let them know that you are their agent for life. Okay. So, and you need to work these leads to the extent that they need to be worked. You need to call them quickly and often. Okay. Guys, just work them hard. If you're working Facebook leads, you have to understand you got to work them hard. You have to tie down your sales and you have to stand out. Okay. If you do that, you'll make them work for you rather than just chasing your tail. All right. I hope this helps you guys.